Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Courtney here, and today's video I just wanted to touch on something in regards to young males or males in general expressing themselves nowadays. It's totally different versus back then. Nowadays, guys are getting crucified for being so feminine or expressing themselves in a way to where, and I understand like why. I mean, nowadays people in general as human beings are getting lazy and complacent, and that starts with our the men or the father figures in our lives. And especially in the black community, I rarely seen a lot of people from my skin complexion who are really pushing or paving the way forward. You know what I'm saying? We got some guys out here that are like hustling and grinding, but they don't really get the spotlight as much. But then because you got the majority of the guys who are or men who are growing up, or kids or guys my age, me being 20 years old, like it's so used to seeing people who express themselves but don't, it's more of a complaining or more of a not having a real focus or end goal. And that's where it comes in as far as that action step. You see a lot of revolutionary people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, and so forth and so forth. They all had a vision. They all was a true, definition of a man, taking action and doing things with a purpose. And so, like I said, me being 20 years old, I feel like I've been so used to being complacent, putting or giving myself self-inflicted wounds, like creating problems and then sitting and being depressed and not doing anything about it. And so in this video I just want to touch on, like, you can let some stuff out, man. You get some stuff off your chest, but then it comes to a point to where you gotta have some action, especially as a male figure in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been a switch on, masculine and feminine energy being swapped through genders. But in reality, like, everything happens for a reason. And a lot of times we have a reoccurring situation to where we know the situation like full-fledged, but it's up to you to keep that structure, keep that discipline, and be that role model in your situation, in your life, for yourself, so you can then do for others and do for that family you may want to have, or just like I said, yourself in general. Because once you focus on yourself and build a strong way of consistency and effort and action, it'll all like transcend to all that blessings, or all your blessings will come tenfold. And so that's what I noticed, with myself. Like, man, because I'm really talking to myself. Like, I really got to man the fuck up. Like, I really got to put myself in a position to where, like, I'm staying true to myself. I think a lot of times I don't stay true to myself, and then that leads to me being something that I'm not, doing things that I don't like doing, and then turning away from God, or turning away from my spiritual connection with the Most High. And then I come to a point to where I become like a little bit of depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what you going into, and I think a lot myself, so I'm conscious of everything. So yeah, that's basically what I want to touch on, man. I really want to just break down, like, every my thoughts, a normal person's thoughts, or people everyday life. It's just situations. It's where you really think shit through. And you really got to be yourself, you know what I'm saying? And stand on your word and be able to express yourself, and then back it up with your action, with your presentation. And that's something that I'm working on right now. So if you're new here, if you've been watching me or been subscribed, make sure you continuously stay subscribed. Comment, like, share if you're new. Subscribe if you're new. And I know there's been a long rant to start the video, but I appreciate all the love, what I'm saying, for staying so long. And so let's get into it. So first things first, I want to touch on is, like, you get what you give. Like, I know that's probably like a reoccurring, theme or phrase, but that stuff is like so true. Like, I've took the fact of, investing in yourself consistently. I took it for granted. Like, I would have these long spurts. Like, I'ma make YouTube videos. Or now I'ma stop. Or I'ma, post this and the third, and I'ma stop. Or I'ma do this every day and then stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, these different spurts. And I've been so used to that in my life, of people showing, true genuine love, or in my family. Like, you get a few good things this day, and then, like, the rest of the year is gonna be straight, like, hard. You know what I'm saying? Or you can get a little taste of a nice me, but in reality, we're gonna get back to the regular old angry, divided home. And so, but it all starts with you. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I know it's gonna start with me. Like, I have to make that mind shift. Like, you have to drastically change that mindset to a point to where you know that what's right is right, and the only way it's gonna stay right and stay up is if you keep it afloat, if you build that foundation and hold on to it. Like, me personally, like, I'm so conscious of so many things. Like, I'm always thinking, I'm always visualizing everything. But you can only do that so long. Like, that's being on the sidelines for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta really put in that work. And like, in my everyday life, like, I'm always constantly working in my profession, and I put in that work. Like, I work hard to learn. I work hard to experience, and get better each and every day at what I do. And so, if that's the case, like, anything outside of your 9 to 5 or your everyday job, like, you should be applying that times 10. And I know it can be stressful. I know with me, like, I always told myself, man, I should get some rest, or I could do this on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? And just pushing things off when you literally have that time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I understand, like, sleep is important. Majority of everybody in the world is sleep deprived because of social media. I gotta cut that out. But yeah, like, really, we gotta focus on, as individuals, staying consistent with what we want to do in our lives and what we want to use now to reinvest into our true identity, into our true purpose in life. Dang, it's getting bright, boy. I'm busting, what? But yeah, next thing I want to touch on is, it only takes basically one time, like a flip of a page. It takes one time to get things right or make things right, and it won't happen instantly. I'm starting to learn it myself as a 20-year-old young man. Not having the car I want, not having the truck I want. I like trucks better. Not having, the type of lifestyle I want right now. But I can't get that unless I apply. I put in that work, put in that effort, put in that consistency, that daily grind of learning, presenting, visualizing, journaling, and doing, like, acts. Like, I've learned more in my 9 to 5 job by doing things, like by doing the work versus reading about it. Like, but it all comes into play. If you read about it, research, visualize it, picture it, and do it, it'll all level out to being 100%. You know what I'm saying? So, it only takes one time, man, and I've replayed that one time so many times. Time. Yeah, I've done it so many different times to where, like, I've never even really made that switch or made that flip. Because what I'm been so trained of thinking, that, things only happen in spurts. You only gonna do this for so long, really, that's not true. It's all up to you to just make a drastic change. It's really all up to myself, man. Like, it's me versus me. I started to ask myself, like, as I do my evening walks or my daily, walks, or thought, going through my head and everything, is my current life what I really want? Is that something that I'm willing to continuously live in forever? Like, no. I want better. I want my own house. I want my own nice car. I want my own nice lifestyle. And that definition of nice, that definition of wealthy, rich, only applies to you. That's why I have become so humble. I've become so centered, self-centered, down-centered, centered down to earth, or however you want to say it, to a point to where I just want peace of mind. I just want things to flow. I want more of nature. I want more of what's already been established for us. And you got to really come to that point, and over time, you as a person or me as a person will come to that point fully when we really start to truly find ourselves and search and figure out who we are as a people. And that's for any person, any race, any gender, male or female. I'm not gonna say any gender, but yeah, male or female, boy or girl, young man, young woman, like even elders, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no limit on finding yourself. Sometimes that may even happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, it may even happen right before you transcend to the spiritual world, right before you leave this earth, you know what I'm saying? But just the fact that you reach that plateau, like you reach that stage, God or the Most High is loving that for sure. Is okay with that. You gotta give yourself that alley-oop. You gotta set yourself up, which means you putting in that work and effort and making a good conscious choice and taking that good chance that the Most High is giving you. And set yourself up for your blessings that come, or even the lessons. Like, be at peace with the good and the bad, because they both come, and you never know which one. But always plan and prepare for both, because there's beauty in the struggle. There's also beauty in the success, but not much. There's also ugliness as well. So you just got to be prepared, and also understand that good things. I'm starting to understand this myself, that good things really take time, and effort. And like, that's just been a big word, throughout this video, is effort, man. Time and effort, consistency, following and having faith, that spiritual walk, staying true to yourself. Like, life is pretty simple. It's, be or find your true self, reach your fullest potential, and help others do the same. Is pretty much it. Like, you really gotta be in that, in that stage, in that, you really gotta be there. You gotta be in that moment. You gotta be in that environment, that vibe, to where you're going in the right direction, and have trust and belief that it's gonna work out. The more you plant that seed each and every day. And I always tell myself, like, start now, perfect later. Like, nothing will be peaches and cream, but as you go along that way, everything's gonna work out. Like, everything's gonna start to mold and be so structured. And the beauty of it all is, like, you painting your own portrait, like you being your own self. And you soon will find out how perfect you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, how perfect, like how taking time out to invest in yourself will perfect everything in your life. And so I just like to say this to myself, and I'll say this to y'all, like, just take everything, take all your lesson times. I really call them lesson times, not really hard times, but lesson times head on. That's what I'm doing right now, constantly. Like, that weakness or that softness of myself always creeps in. But at the same time, it's like I can't bend, break, or fold. I always have belief. I always measure things out, what I can do, and then I also, let go and give it to the Most High. What you gotta understand, it's all in the Most High's plan. It's all in the Most High's plan. It's all in the Most High's control. And so I do as much as I can on my end to meet the Most High halfway. So that's really what I wanted to touch on today. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to touch on today, man. I really appreciate y'all for staying throughout the entire video. His son is really doing this justice. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Y'all continuously stay tuned in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let's continue this journey one step at a time. All love.